the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
What is it about him? Because I know you have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. Shakur is trying to do the same thing.
We set this fight up, and I honestly did it because I wanted to push my
point blank period. These two are the best in the world at a young age, prime of both of their careers. This is what boxing needs.
Floyd Mayweather has finally weighed in on the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, and his first public comments have added a major narrative to the fight. This wasn't Mayweather talking trash, he was showing genuine respect for Stevenson's credentials. Mayweather stated that Stevenson deserves to be considered the A-side of the matchup, believing that Stevenson's accomplishments and current standing in the sport justify top billing over Lopez. While the fight has its own marketing dynamics, that endorsement carries serious weight, as Mayweather is widely regarded as one of the greatest defensive and technically gifted boxers of all time. For him to publicly suggest that Stevenson should be the featured fighter signals that he views Stevenson as one of the best in his division and among the most skilled boxers in the sport today.
About the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? Who you would put where?
As of right now, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
What is it about him? Because I know you have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully...
The fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, scheduled for January 31st, 2026, is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing matchups in boxing. Not only because of what's at stake, but because of what it reveals about both fighters and how trainers, professionals, and pundits view the contest. Stevenson, undefeated at 24-0 with 11 knockouts and already a world champion in 3 weight classes, is moving up to 140 pounds to challenge Lopez, the WBO junior welterweight title holder, who stands at 22-1 with 13 stoppages. On paper, it's a clash of styles and legacies, Stevenson aiming to become a 4-division world champion, while Lopez looks to solidify his status among the elite at 140. Beyond the hype, fans, fighters, and analysts alike have offered varied perspectives on what this fight truly represents.
It is official! New York City, January 31st, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. I always say it, when boxing gets it right, no other sport comes close. And this is boxing getting it right. The best fighting the best. Both fighters believe that this matchup settles the argument about who leads the new era. So what do we think of the styles matchup, guys? This is a high-speed chess match a la Sugar Ray Leonard or Pernell Whitaker, Leonard and Benitez, or yes. Pernell Whitaker, Buddy McGirt, or is it a Jerry versus Jerry?
Stevenson has openly discussed how important this contest is to him, framing it as an opportunity to prove he belongs among the very best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. He has acknowledged that Lopez will be the toughest opponent he has faced so far, noting that Teofimo is not someone to be taken lightly and that the stylistic matchup is tricky, as they are difficult style matchups for each other. Both fighters are capable of adjusting and creating problems for the other's game plan. Stevenson has expressed strong confidence in his own abilities, his speed, defense, and versatility, while also suggesting that Lopez makes a number of mistakes he believes he can capitalize on. At the same time, he has been candid in criticizing Lopez's confidence, labeling it delusional and even questioning his mental state by calling him crazy in interviews, while still respecting the danger that kind of mindset can bring when a fighter is fully driven by belief.
Or a knockout by Teo.
Yeah, are you getting into some type of brawl with Teo and end up getting knocked out, right? What are fans getting wrong about the matchup?
I think the fans is getting wrong about the matchup is where I'm not sleeping on that I know about Teo. Teo's a good boxer. He's boxer first. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out. He's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside. and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main thing. And also the biggest thing that everybody don't realize with me, I could punch. Everybody say, oh, he can't punch, and then boom, crack somebody, and then they laying down, or something may happen to where they hurt or something like that. So I think that's two big things.
Lopez and his camp have responded in kind, flatly rejecting any narrative that casts him as the underdog and instead embracing the chance to shock the boxing world once again. Lopez has pointed to the defining moments of his career, including his upset victory over Vasyl Lomachenko and his continued success at junior welterweight, as proof that he thrives when opponents and fans underestimate him. He has spoken about wanting to break the bank by defying expectations, believing his power and aggressive style will pose serious problems for Stevenson if he executes his game plan correctly. Lopez's criticism of Stevenson centers on the idea that Shakur is hesitant to get hit, arguing that once Stevenson's jab is neutralized, Lopez's pressure and power punching will ultimately decide the fight.
Said, I'll stick around at 140 and fight this guy.
His last fight, Cepeda. His last fight. You don't know how many people are talking about him on every scale of him. And when it came to the talks of me and Haney fighting in August, I didn't go for it because he had no motion. Now he does after the Brian Norman. But Shakur, it's all there. But I didn't focus on him. I was focused on what's next, trusting my power team, trusting on my team and what can do and who could we fight next. Shakur decided, he initiated, let's go.
You have a healthy Teofimo Lopez in there, he's gonna bring it, and he's gonna entertain the crowd.
Definitely. Do you feel that this is gonna be the toughest test of his career? We know that Shakur, this is not the toughest fight. What was the toughest fight?
It's never been the toughest fight for my son. The toughest fight for my son is him being healthy. He's a smash. So, and we gotta be careful with that because losing the weight. We're moving after this fight, we're moving up to what.
Trainers and boxing insiders have offered a wide range of predictions and breakdowns, further emphasizing how contentious and stylistically complex this matchup really is. Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez has suggested that the fight's level of excitement will largely depend on Lopez's willingness to take the lead and apply pressure. If Lopez chooses to sit back and counterpunch, much like Stevenson often does, the bout could become stagnant. Sanchez has even floated the possibility of a draw, where each fighter enjoys strong moments, while cautioning that the contest could lack fireworks if neither man commits to decisive action. This perspective reflects a common theme in professional analysis: both fighters are elite technicians, but neither is a natural aggressor, which could turn the fight into a high-level chess match rather than a non-stop action showcase.
We always are acting for. When it comes to explosiveness, I would have to go with Tio. When it comes to actual rapid speed, I would have to go with Tio. But when it comes to body punching, when it comes to good timing, when it comes to craft, I would have to give all of that to Shakur Stevenson.
What do you think, Doug?
They're both boxers. I look at Stevenson as a versatile technician. I look at Teofimo. He's a boxer puncher, but his specialty is his counterpunching. Listen, if Stevenson wants to be on his stick and move game, very difficult style matchup for Teofimo, and maybe not that entertaining to the fans.
Because Stevenson's longer.
Exactly.
Stevenson's defense is probably the best in the game, and he's longer.
Great reflexes and timing, and so does Teo. That's why he's a great counterpuncher. But Teo's, he's a very special athlete, and as a competitor, he is one of those guys who saves his A game for a fellow elite opponent. That's when he really rises his game and shows us the Teofimo Lopez that everybody thought he was when he was a prospect. People used to look at him and say, oh, this guy is going to be the star of boxing. It didn't really play out that way, but every now and then he reminds us how special he is.
Teofimo is a two-division Ring Magazine champion. In both fights where he won the Ring Magazine championship, he was the underdog. 4-1 underdog against Lomachenko. People forget, Lomachenko was taking elite fighters in the lower divisions and they were quitting.
Yes.
He was beating them into some, they were like, I can't do this, right? And Teofimo beat him. Right, he outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't do it by physically imposing himself on him.
He outboxed him, he outfought him, he had speed, power, and then again against Josh Taylor at junior welterweight, he was the underdog.
Top trainer Robert Garcia has admitted that he finds it difficult to pick a clear winner, though he leans slightly toward Lopez, citing Lopez's experience at 140 pounds and his proven ability to compete with elite opposition. Garcia's assessment reflects respect for Lopez's resume and recognizes that, despite Stevenson's technical brilliance, Lopez possesses the tools and ring experience to swing close rounds in his favor. Meanwhile, former sparring partner Shakur Foster has expressed skepticism about Stevenson's power and suggested that Lopez's strength could be the difference, arguing that Stevenson's reliance on movement and ring IQ may not be enough to neutralize Lopez's physicality.
Shakur is 80% done. You know both of them. You like both of them. Break down the fight.
Tough one to pick. The tough one to say.
Okay. If you're in each guy's corner, I know. No, you're cool.
He's Latino, so I'm gonna cheer for him. But Haney's got some of the best skills in boxing, man.
So how does it unfold?
No, not Haney. Shakur.
Yeah, how does it unfold?
Shakur has some of the best skills in boxing, man. And man, so does Teofimo. It's a fucking badass fight. I can't wait for it to happen. But I can't pick a winner.
You can't pick. So you're gonna be a fan for that one.
I'm gonna be a fan for that one. I can't pick a winner.
But that's a big fight.
The context surrounding this fight is also crucial. Stevenson's move up to 140 pounds is significant, as it marks his first professional appearance in the division, and many analysts consider it the toughest test of his career so far. Unlike fighters who dominate within their natural weight classes, Stevenson is choosing to challenge himself against a reigning champion known for power and aggression. Lopez, on the other hand, has experienced a somewhat uneven run at 140, with recent title defenses ending in decision wins rather than stoppages, leading some pundits to question whether he is the most dominant champion in the division. Still, his resume features major victories and extensive experience in high-pressure fights that cannot be ignored.
Fight coming up. I heard you was the one that wanted to fight, right?
Yeah. I actually set this fight up. And I honestly did it because I wanted to push myself. I know that Teo is a tremendous fighter. I know he's on an extremely high level. And I feel like, well, I know that I can beat him, but I know that this should be a tough test, so I'm ready.
Who were some of the other options you had?
Lamar Roach.
That would have been a real good fight, man. But I mean, Teo, he's a bigger name, though, so I see why you went with him.
Yeah, bigger name, and also he got the more accolades. He's been undisputed before. He's done won belts at 35, won belts at 40. So he's more accomplished. So I know that would be a better name on my resume.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that this is gonna be a tough fight for you.
I mean, they absolutely right to have their opinion. I already know this guy's good. I done came up in the amateurs with him. I chose this for that reason. Like, I chose this because I wanted to challenge myself.
According to analysis circulating around the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson matchup, Lopez and several boxing commentators believe Stevenson's biggest weakness is his reluctance to get hit and his limited power once his jab is taken away. Lopez has publicly claimed that Stevenson is more focused on avoiding clean shots than engaging in physical exchanges, suggesting that this caution makes him hesitant to get hit and less effective against heavy punches. Lopez believes this is a vulnerability he can exploit by timing Stevenson's slower punches and increasing pressure whenever Stevenson attempts to fight safely.
Back on the Weight Concept presented by The Ring Magazine, and I am pumped for this video because we have a sit-down between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson ahead of their big-time fight on January 31st, Madison Square Garden, ring number 6. Shakur looking to move up and be a 4-division world champ. Obviously, Teo looking to maintain the ring belts at 140. But this is going to be hilarious. I watched their press conference today, and there were some moments in that presser that made you say, hey, yo. It was one of the zestiest press conferences ever. But it was just that. It was a boxing press conference that, you know, those things tend to get kind of stale. But doing this sit down with Rick Reno on the Mr. Versace podcast, I think is going to be a lot more entertaining. So let's take a look at this. Let's see these two talk about their matchup. It's one of the best fights you can make in boxing, point blank, period. These two are the best in the world at a young age, prime of both of their careers. This is what boxing needs. This is what we want more from boxing. So the fight we know is going to be fireworks, but what's the buildup gonna be like? What's the thing that's going to make us tune in on fight night? For Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, it was the rivalry and the chaos surrounding. For Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, it was undisputed at heavyweight. What's it gonna be for this one. Yes, championships are on the line. Yes.
Stevenson has been very vocal about his upcoming fight with Teofimo Lopez, and one of the most talked about revelations involves advice from Floyd Mayweather. Stevenson shared that Mayweather personally called him to express strong opinions on how the fight should be presented, specifically telling Stevenson that he believes Stevenson deserves to be the A side of the matchup rather than the B side. Mayweather emphasized that Stevenson's resume, skills, and accomplishments justify top billing against Lopez. Stevenson has also hinted at underlying tension between him and Lopez, particularly surrounding comments Lopez made about ESPN's promotion of fighters. Stevenson interpreted Lopez's remarks as jealousy over the recognition and visibility that ESPN gives to black fighters like himself. Lopez had once stated, out of frustration, that if ESPN wanted the black fighters, they could keep them, a comment stemming from feeling overlooked by the network and promoters despite his achievements. The statement sparked significant backlash and fueled discussions about Lopez's motives and mindset.
He was getting the fights that you would. You were calling for Loma, he got Loma.
Yeah.
You wanted other guys, he was getting other guys. Did you see him as a future foe? Because at one point you were 2 divisions ahead of him.
I think that everything just plays out the way it does, and eventually we was going to end up meeting up with each other eventually. I think that that's how it works, right? When 2 greats collide, you're bound to see a great fight. So I never seen any jealousy in my part with him. I mean, for crying out loud, he fought for Team USA, he got a silver medal. And,
not during them times though,
and the whole thing
not
was
during them times.
pushed.
I'm speaking on the times where I felt like you had a push start. You got the you used to be ahead of me far as like you was the code on Terrence Crawford card. I was underneath. Then you got the opportunity to fight with Lomachenko. And after that, I felt like I kind of got pushed more than you, and you felt some type of way about the way that I was pushed more than you when it came down to ESPN. I remember you saying a little comment with the ESPN only like black fighters and all that kind of stuff. And when you said that, I kind of felt like it was a shot at me. So
what the hell? That's where we're going. ESPN only likes black fighters. I don't remember that. But all right, let's take it there then. Shit. What we saying, Tio? They only watching the black fighters over at ESPN?
I felt like it was a little bit of jealousy.
No, I just didn't give enough. That's all. Cool. I just didn't give enough about it all.
Yeah, but when you said in the comments, you said something there. It was something you said at that time. That was something. It was the way you felt, right?
Nah, I just pushed the movement that I felt like we was taking over as we are now.
Like I said, I think you're the truth. I know I'm the truth, and can't wait to see it.
Yo, Shakur is showing them gap fix. Shakur is showing them shits off. That man smiling. That man, you know what I'm saying? Just throwing them teeth out there. And he should. Everybody giving Shakur stick about fixing his gap in his teeth. Y'all would do the same shit. Just because J. Cole got on a song and talked about how he never fixed his gap in his tooth and he wanted to remain himself or whatever, I'm not with that. If you got something like that where, you know what I'm saying, you got the saloon doors in the middle, gums with no teeth, you want to push the shits together, you know what I'm saying, you want to bring the whole family together, I'm not mad at that at all. But Shakur is flexing.
Shakur, you, judging by the recent CompuBox numbers, you're #1 by a mile.
Raleigh Romero has recently shared his thoughts on the Shakur Stevenson vs. Teofimo Lopez fight through clips and social media, building hype for what he calls a must-watch matchup. He highlighted that both fighters' skills and backgrounds, as Olympians and elite professionals, make the bout especially compelling. Romero emphasized that the contrasting styles and impressive resumes of Stevenson and Lopez set the stage for high-level boxing action. With both men bringing strong offensive and defensive tools, he noted that the fight carries real star power and depth. Romero urged fans to expect a competitive, entertaining showdown rather than a one-sided affair, describing it as a great fight.
You know, because I mean, at the end of it, they're both Olympians. They're both multi-division world champions. Tio is an incredible fighter, and Shakur is an incredible fighter. Shakur has a really high boxing IQ and a very Shakur coming off. I'm telling